I'm going to show you the cheapest way to live in Malaysia for the next 10 years. Now, I know many of you are planning to come here with your kids, and some of you just want to retire here. Now, I'm going to break it down from the most expensive visa to the cheapest. Now, I'll also give you the total cost for each visa, including all the government and agency fees. If you want to know how much the cheapest visa actually costs, stay till the end. Now, I know you've heard of MM2H, but did you know the different tiers available? MM2H stands for Malaysia My Second Home. It's a long-term social visit pass. It's not permanent residency, and it's not a path to citizenship. What it gives you is the legal right to live in Malaysia long-term. You can come and go freely on a multiple entry basis, and you can bring your entire family with you. Now, the standard MM2H program runs on 3 tiers: Silver, Gold and Platinum. Now, here is a chart showing the Platinum, Gold and Silver cost. You have to buy a property and you have to put fixed deposits. So, for Platinum, it's a $1 million fixed deposit with a minimum 2 million ringgit property purchase. It gives you 20-year renewable visa and the government entry fee is 200,000 ringgit. Now, the most important thing about this tier is that it lets you work, lets you open up a business, basically gives you full work and business rights, which the others don't. Total cost is 4.4 million ringgit or about 1.1 million US dollars. Now, for Gold, here are the fixed deposits and the minimum property purchase price. It gives you a 15-year renewable visa. The government fee is only 3,000 ringgit. And you don't get any work rights. Total cost is about 2.1 million ringgit or about $515,000. For Silver, it's $150,000 fixed deposit with a 600,000 ringgit property purchase. It's 5 years and it's also renewable. Government fee is very low at only 1,000 ringgit. Again, no work rights. Total cost 1 million ringgit, which is about 250,000 US dollars. So the total prices here is after you've withdrawn 50% of your fixed deposit. So basically the net amount that you are going to invest in. And also the total fee includes 2 people, your main applicant and the dependent. One thing about the fixed deposit that most people misunderstand: this is not money you lose. It sits in a Malaysian bank account and earns interest. And the moment your visa is stamped, you can withdraw up to 50% of it immediately for specific uses like buying a property, medical expenses, education, or even domestic travel in Malaysia. So the fixed deposit and the property purchase are not 2 completely separate pools of money. Alright, that's an important detail. Here are a few important rules that people miss. Number 1 is minimum stay. If you're under 50 years old, there is a 90-day minimum stay per year, meaning you and your dependents need to spend at least 90 days in Malaysia across the year. If you're above 50, then this rule does not apply to you. You can come and go as you please. Now, work rights. Silver and Gold, you cannot work in Malaysia, you cannot run a business, and you cannot take employment. Only the Platinum tier can. So if you are retired, this isn't an issue. Dependents. You can bring your spouse, you can bring children up to 34 years old as long as they are single and not working in Malaysia. And you can also bring your parents and parents-in-law up to any age. So that's actually quite generous. Now, domestic helpers. A lot of you have asked me about this, so I'm going to clarify here. MM2H Silver and Gold do not cover bringing in a helper under the visa. Only Platinum visa does. So for everyone else, you can absolutely hire a local helper in Malaysia through the standard route. That's actually what most people do, and it's really just very straightforward. Health insurance, it is required if you are under 60 years old. Your agent will help you sort this out. Let's talk about the property. Because you have to buy a property, this is where a lot of people get stuck. When people see mandatory property purchase, they immediately think, okay, I have to put a fixed deposit. On top of that, I have to spend this amount as well. So the silver tier, I need to spend at least 300,000 US dollars. But here's what most people don't realize. You can withdraw 50% of the fixed deposit right after you purchase a property. There are some ways to go about this, and it is like basically to purchase off-plan properties, right? Which requires way less upfront payment. Now, I can go through this with you in a strategy call, and this is what I do actually. I'll choose the right property that you should invest for yourself and which works best for you and how you can use the least amount of money to get this visa. Also, you don't have to live in the property you buy. I've said this a lot of times. So think about that for a second. The requirement is that you own a qualifying property in Malaysia. It says nothing about where you sleep. So what smart MM2H holders do is this. They buy an investment property that meets the visa requirement, put a tenant in it, collect rental income, and then they use that rental income to rent somewhere else entirely. Maybe a smaller place, maybe a different neighborhood, or maybe even a different city. The property is working for you and your actual living costs are covered by whatever rent you're getting elsewhere. Now, the mistake I see constantly is people rush into buying any property just to tick the visa box. Wrong location, no rental demand, difficult to sell later. Now, why did you choose that property? Well, because you guys didn't speak to Nas. Okay, I'm just kidding. It's because you guys buy with emotion. This is a big purchase and you guys buy with emotion. That's the biggest thing I see. I don't buy properties with emotion. I don't recommend things with emotion. I always look at numbers because the property still needs to make sense as an asset. It doesn't have to be your dream home, but it shouldn't be a liability either. So this is how I help. This is where my expertise come in. We sit down on a strategy call and I go through your financials. You tell me what's going on and how much you're willing to spend and what type of investor you are. That's when we'll go through a list of 100 properties and we'll start ticking one of them out until we find the top 3. That's when you're here and we'll go through these top 3 properties and then we'll go and purchase it. Once we've looked at all the numbers, I have a specific way of how I go through each property to determine which is the best for investment, which is the best for own stay, ROI, and all those sorts. Right? I'm not going to share all of it here. These are specifically for my clients who bought this strategy call with me, and I go through each and every one of them through this process. So if you guys are interested, go to nasmalaysia.com/start. If you guys are just looking for trusted agents, property agents, visa agents, and you want my help to get some context, 100% fine. My team will just pass you over. You just let them know which city you're interested in and which type of visa you're interested in, and my team will basically point you to the right direction. That's about it. But if you guys want to speak to me and get my insights on certain properties and investments, then we'll sit down on a strategy call. And it's not just a one-time call. I'll still be in contact with you guys until you settle your property purchase. Speaking of moving money, since we're talking about placing 150,000 US dollars in a Malaysian bank, I want to quickly mention something before we continue. See, moving large amounts of money internationally gets expensive fast if you're using the wrong service. So I use Wise for transferring money in and out of Malaysia, especially when I'm traveling. It uses the mid-market exchange rate and the fees are transparent. And for the amounts we are talking about, the savings here are a lot compared to traditional bank transfer. One thing a lot of you ask me is, Nas, how do I get around KL when I'm there? There are multiple ways, but one of the best and most efficient way is to use a private transfer service. I use this exact service for my KL scouting tour. The reason is because going to multiple areas all requires looking for parking, going through traffic, tolls. It's just a hassle for me. I've partnered with them on this. This is KL Private. Their website is klprivate.com. This is not a tour. This is a private transfer service that gets you around all over KL, wherever you want to go, whenever you want to go. It's by the day. You want to go check out a school in Bangsa, he takes you there. You have a hospital appointment in the afternoon, he gets you there on time. If you want to explore multiple neighborhoods, grab lunch somewhere, visit a mall, and go back to the hotel all in the same day, he's outside waiting for you. All you need to do is send him a text. Now, the current problem is you need to book 10 different Grab rides just for this one day, and that takes up a lot of time. With this, one vehicle, one driver, everywhere you want to go, this is how you do the KL property tour properly. You have limited time here. Do not waste it figuring out transport. Link is in the description. Tell them Nas sent you. Okay, back to the video. Those were the 3 main tiers. For those of you watching and looking at silver and thinking it's too expensive at $250,000 total cost, there's a 4th option. There's also a 5th option, but we'll get to that shortly. The 4th option is called the MM2H SEZ, the Special Economic Zone or Special Financial Zone. Right, this tier, it's specifically for Forest City in Johor. Now, before you start commenting, it doesn't mean you have to live in Forest City. It just means that the property purchase should be in Forest City. So let me explain. The numbers are if you're under 49 years of age, the fixed deposit required is 65,000 US dollars. If you're above 50 years old, the fixed deposit is 32,000 US dollars. Yeah, it's lesser if you're older. Now that's it for the deposit. For the property purchase, the average price of property, or one of the lowest property prices, is about 500,000 ringgit, or about 125,000 US dollars. And you have to buy it directly from the developer of Forest City, not subsale, not from another developer, Forest City developer. And in terms of the visa, it's 10 years and it's renewable. So the total cost for this is about 153,000 US dollars total for a 10-year renewable visa. And this is not the lowest. There is another lower tier. I'll get to that shortly. Now, I know what some of you are thinking about Forest City, right? I've heard things about Forest City. It's a ghost town. It's not a good investment. That's fine. It's fine to think that. I'm not here to promote these visas or these areas. I'm just giving you the full breakdown. But here's where I want to be direct with you, because I think people are asking the wrong questions. If your goal is to get a Malaysian residency and you don't have 300,000 US dollars, the question shouldn't be whether Forest City is a good investment. The question should be how much it costs and how soon can I get approved. Because the answer is only 150,000 US dollars and the answer is 2 months to get approved. Because you are not buying Forest City as your dream location or as the best investment point. You're using it as the access point to a long-term renewable Malaysian residency at the lowest entry cost available. That's what you're doing. If you have cash, 300,000, go for MM2H Silver. If you're worried about investment, long-term play, go for Silver. If you are short on cash, go for the Forest City. But if you still don't have that and you want to spend lesser amount and you don't want to buy a property or you want to go for the lowest one, the most affordable visa option that almost nobody in the expat community talks about is the Sarawak MM2H. Now, Sarawak is in East Malaysia. It's one of the 2 Malaysian states on the island of Borneo. And here's the thing most people don't know, Sarawak has its own immigration authority separate from the federal government, which means it runs its own long-term visa program, different rules, different requirements, different entry points. Here's what makes it interesting. No mandatory property purchase. Sarawak MM2H does not require you to buy a property. Now, here are the requirements. Fixed deposit of 500,000 ringgit, which is about 125,000 US dollars. That's about it. You can keep 250,000 ringgit in the bank at all times. You can withdraw half of it after 1 year for buying a property or for buying a car or for education and stuff. Yes, that's all. So if you think about it, 250,000 ringgit, that's about maybe $65,000 locked in the bank for the next 10 years. You do need to show some sort of income or proof of income or offshore income of about 10,000 ringgit or 15,000 ringgit, depending if you're single or a couple. They just want to know that you are able to sustain yourself over the next 10 years. If you don't have income, just show that you have at least 100,000 ringgit or 200,000 ringgit in your bank account extra for a couple, right? Just to show that you can survive. The minimum age to apply is 30 and the minimum stay in Sarawak per year is 30 days. And most important thing, this visa is issued as a 5 years plus one-time renewable to another 5 years. So a maximum of 10 years. After 10 years, you need to submit a fresh application. So you withdraw all your money and then you start the application again. The total cost for this is about 515,000 ringgit. Because the application or agency fee for this is only about 12 to 15,000 ringgit. That's it. Now, a question I get asked a lot. Can you get the Sarawak MM2H and then just live in KL? Okay, honest answer is it's complicated. Technically, the approval letter since 2022 includes a clause saying that holders can travel to West Malaysia but not reside there. So in practice, as of 2025, this hasn't been enforced at the visa endorsement level. So people are doing their 30 days in Sarawak and then spending the rest of the year in KL. But this is a grey area. It hasn't been tested at renewal yet. So if you are planning to do that, that's a risk you are taking with your own eyes open, right? Okay, so who is Sarawak MM2H actually for? Well, it's someone who doesn't want to be forced into buying a property and you have minimum income, you just want to spend the minimum amount and you're comfortable living in Sarawak, you understand the requirements and the standards, then yes. You understand the reapplication after 10 years, go ahead. It's an awesome place to live. Sarawak has Kuching, Sabah has Kota Kinabalu, really nice place, very good seafood as well. So, 5 options. How do you choose? Well, there's no universally best option. It depends on your capital, your lifestyle, and what you're optimizing for. Anyone telling you there's a one-size-fits-all answer is selling you something. So if you've been watching this series, I did a video on retiring in Malaysia on $2,000 a month. I also did another one on the best neighborhoods to retire for. I also did another one, the best cities in Malaysia to retire. So between all of this, you now have the full picture. what it costs, where to live, and how to legally live here. If you want to get in touch with a property agent or a visa agent, just head to nasmalaysia.com/start. My team will just understand your situation and send you to the right agents, right? Whether it's visa agents or whether it's property agents in KL, Penang, Johor, they will just help you out free of charge. That's the service we do. But if you guys want to talk to me, you want to know what are the best properties to buy, you want me to hold your hand and get you to Malaysia in the best possible way, I will be there personally to help you through a strategy call. Basically, your insider here. Head to nasmalaysia.com/call to book a call with me. Okay, so is $2,000 enough for you to retire in Malaysia? Check out this video.